what inspired you to build xssOR?
So what inspired me is to help bug bounty hunters and pen testers and cybersecurity companies to have some unique XSS tool which can help them in their cybersecurity research to earn some money on bug bounty and stuff like that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of How Safe is Our Cyberspace. I'm Chinedu Francis, and today's guest is no other person than Ibrahim Husić, the founder of the best-selling offensive security tool, xssOR. He's here today to give us a full masterclass section on how to use this beautiful offensive security tool that is actually making rounds in the cybersecurity world. Without wasting much of our time, let us dive in and enjoy the full conversation. Welcome, Ibrahim, to How Safe is Our Cyberspace.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Let's kick off with your story. You had quite a journey into the cybersecurity world, from being an ethical hacker and bug bounty hunter to red teaming, and now to ethical hacking tool development. What was the turning point that pulled you into this field of developing this xssOR tool?
The starting point for making this XSS tool is my journey on bug bounty platforms on Microsoft. Yeah, I started hunting bug bounties on Microsoft platform long ago, and my whole point was to start with some common attack like cross-site script. And after months and months researching how to make some automation regarding the XSS, I came to make my own private tool regarding the cross-site script vulnerability. And yeah, it's everything started on the Xbox main domain of the Microsoft, and I found there the cross-site script vulnerability. They paid me $2,000 for that vulnerability. It was on the main domain.
Wow.
Yeah. And it affected the whole community members on the forum on the Xbox. So yeah, it was stored cross-site script. Yeah, and that's the main point. So I mostly comment on for the XSS on the big platforms like Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, etc.
That's a very nice introduction into your tool. But we've seen XSS being around for decades, and yet it keeps showing up in reports. Why do you think it remains such a relevant vulnerability today, especially with how modern applications are built with security at the forefront of what they are doing?
Regarding XSS, so we know that XSS is the most common attack. Right now, it was on the past and it will be on the future. XSS, SQL injection, SSRF, etc. But these are common attacks. XSS is not ordinarily just pop-up. So it's not XSS, it's not just pop-up that you get alert box pop-up and there is XSS. No, with XSS, we can do many things. Some malicious things like we can steal sessions of the users.
Okay.
We can locate exact IP address of users. We can extract browser settings like history. Like we can hook their browser and have access to their PC. We can take a screenshot of their PC. Also, we can use blind XSS to collect a lot of information regarding some users. And of course, everything with JavaScript we can do. So as long as we have JavaScript and XSS, we can do defacement on the website. So it's really common, and yeah, the most popular attack nowadays is XSS.
So, Ibrahim, from your experience, what are some of the common mistakes you see as a bug bounty hunter in how XSS is detected or handled by developers and security team? Are there any special evasion tactics or payloads that still catch people off guard these days?
Yeah, the main flag regarding developer side is, they do some attention on the sanitization, on HTML encoding, etc. But we can always craft and make some advanced payload to bypass their security. Regarding XSS, I think that the most important thing is CSP. So developer must to pay attention on that part to enable CSP security. And yeah, so as long as we have bug bounty hunters and pen testers, we can always try to to craft the payload to bypass even some most popular web application firewalls like Cloudflare, Imperva, Fortinet, etc.
On this podcast, we hosted one of Nigerian finest penetration tester who goes by the name Cyber Fortress. He told us that XSS can be detected wherever there are input parameters in a web application. So my question now is, are there other places that these XSS vulnerabilities or these XSS attacks can be detected other than the input parameters in a web application?
Yeah, the most popular and common is on the search fields, input fields. We can attach on the path base. There is path-based XSS. A lot of the bug bounty hunters, they miss that part to scan on the path-based XSS. We can also try on the DOM base. But yeah, the most common is on the search field, input fields like username, comment, tickets, live chat support.
So before we go into your tool, we try to understand what your tool does and how it's of importance to the bug bounty community. Do you mind explaining DOM XSS? Because in our previous interview with Cyber Fortress, he said reflected XSS, is regarded as nothing in the bug bounty world. But the DOM XSS is the main deal. Do you mind expanding on how these DOM XSS work and how your tool, help to find this bug easily for new bug bounty hunters?
Yeah, he's right regarding the reflected XSS, because when you find some XSS reflected maybe on some domain on the search field, and you have only the pop-up, and if you that report to bug bounty platform, they will say you, what can you else do with this? What we have from this pop-up? So basically, you need to make more advanced with the XSS.
The joy of having this pop-up is just for the fun of it. So a new bug bounty hunter, when he sees something like this and he's happy, oh, I've gotten a bug, only for him to get the response like, this is nothing.
Yeah, but he need to think more deeper than the pop-up. Example, if he has the XSS on search field, and if that application has some user authentication on that, if there is some users, and if he can log into the application, that means there is some cookies. He can craft a payload and inject his maybe collaborator for the burp suite or his web server, and to craft the payload with that server, with that IP address, and when he reflect that, when he pastes his URL to the target, and when the target click on that URL, the pop-up will appear on the target side, but it will steal his credentials and it will return to the hacker, to the bug bounty hacker. So that is the main point of the reflected XSS. So you need to make more advanced, or maybe you can, if there is no HTML sanitization, you can make as an example fake login page with HTML, and example facebook.com/some search field, and there is some vulnerable place for XSS. We can craft the payload with HTML. And if we send somebody that link, it will be from the main domain of the facebook.com. And the rest of the link is our crafted payload with malicious sites, example phishing site.
In other words, reflected XSS, if well exploited, can lead to social engineering.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Please speak more on the DOM XSS before we go into how your tool actually help new bug bounty hunters to become successful.
Yeah, DOM based it's much harder than the reflected or the stored, because in DOM based, when we enter some value to the search field, and if that search field is reflected on the source page, it doesn't mean that there is XSS. But if we starting to inspect the elements and JavaScript code in the website, we can call some function from that website. Example, if there is document.cookie or document.referrer, we can use that JavaScript sample callback and inject into our XSS, and we are calling that JavaScript function with our XSS, and basically, with that we can craft the DOM base. So basically, we need to search on the page source all the links and JavaScript functions, and we need to do some fuzzing to make more.
Okay, Ibrahim, what inspired you to build xssOR?
What inspired me? So right now there is a few tools on the internet for the XSS. There is open source tools and there is one paid commercial tool. And what inspired me is that Firstly, I started with open source tools like XSS Strike, etc. And there's a lot false positives on some open source tools. And what inspired me that I told myself I can do it. I will make some XSS tool that will not be with false positive. And I will make it that there is no API limitation. So basically, on daily basis, you can scan a millions of URLs and still you have your subscription and you can make any more requests. So what inspired me is to help bug bounty hunters and pen testers and cybersecurity companies to have some unique XSS tool which can help them in their cybersecurity research to earn some money on bug bounty and stuff like that. I started 8 months ago. So 8 months ago, I released xssOR. And currently, I have over 15,000 users right now, which are right now scanning some targets with xssOR. So basically, in those 8 months, I made a huge success because that tool, it's not giving any false positive. It will open a pop-up for you, confirm for you, and it will give you a report. Alongside that, xssOR contains crawler flags. You can also crawl whole links for domain, automatically make payloads and send them to that target. So basically, there is a lot features in xssOR. I will show you in this demonstration. So that is the main point, to make some unique tool for pen testers and bug bounty hunters. Like there is some unique tool like Burp Suite, like Nessus, etc. And my point was to make one XSS tool to be the big star.
You see, Ibrahim, I'm going to testify to the workings of your tool because I've used your tool and I was able to get an SSS from a notable university here in the United Kingdom. So your tool is something that I can say I've used it. I've recommended it to a lot of people. I've posted it on my Twitter page, telling people to make use of this tool is wonderful. It helps you. But at the end of the day, don't you think the production of this tool is going to make a lot of bug bounty hunters out there to be lazy? The automation is very fast. The no API limitation is very unique. The question is, don't you think you're making us to be lazy in terms of our thought process?
Yes, on some part, yes. But regarding that part, we have another part where we have a bunch of URLs. Example, if we crawl Microsoft, we will have over million of URLs. Who will test those URLs manually? Nobody. But if we want to test stored XSS or blind XSS, of course, that the bug bounty hunter will go to the site. He will examine the site. He will search some values where he can input fields, where he can paste his payloads and test it. On that point, we can't do a massive scan on the stored based or blind. So basically, yes, on some part regarding the reflected XSS, it will make some laziness to the hunters. But that is good side. Always you can do manually, but always you can run the VPS, run on million of URLs, go to sleep, check on the morning results. If you have pop-up, it's great. If you don't have, start next scan,
Now, before we go into the practical hands-on lab, like we always say on this podcast, whatever hands-on ethical attack practice our guest performs in their own controlled environment is strictly for educational purpose. Please do not try whatever hack you are seeing our guests perform in an uncontrolled environment. It's very, very important that you perform your ethical hacking stuff in a controlled lab. So, Ibrahim, before we go into the practical aspect of this show, which a lot of our audience are interested in, I would like you to give us a detailed rundown on how your tool, xssOR, works, so that our audience out there can be able to have a feel and, have a detailed understanding of what this tool is all about before you start performing the hands-on exhibition.
Okay, I will walk through step by step. So let's start from the basic. Here is the main domain of the xssOR, and you have here some languages you can use, like English, Deutsch, Espanol, and Arabic. Let's scroll down. Here you have some features of the XSS. detection, innovation, scanning efficiently, configuration, security, support, etc. Here is some basic command how to run xssOR. Here is plans of the xssOR. You can choose any plan. It's totally up to you and your needs. You have basic plan, professional plan, diamond plan, golden plan, and business plans for the companies. Alongside business plans for the companies, you will get 2 additional free license on 1-year access. So basically, here is on the compatibilities of the xssOR. And we are having here our happy clients. As you can see, there is one guy, Navinox, on the Twitter. He made $8,000 bug bounty with the xssOR, only XSS. We have another and another. So we have a lot of the bug bounty community happy with our tool. See?
So in just 8 months, your tool has been able to fetch a lot of money to hunters in the bug bounty world.
Yeah, see. A lot of them are earning currently money with xssOR.
It's impressive, you know.
Alongside xssOR, we made some bash tool. It's called xssOR Recon. Basically, it's bash tool made for xssOR. It is using six additional tools for crawling like Wayback, Go, Katana, Hack Crawler, URL Finder. It will filter all URLs regarding their duplicates. So it will make only unique URLs to the xssOR. So example, if you have 1 million URLs, and if you start recon with xssOR recon on that 1 million URLs, on the end, you will maybe have 2,000 ready for XSS.
The XSR Recon V2 is actually used to streamline the URLs in order to help the XSR tool to be able to perform the actual SSR attack on the URLs.
Basically, it will do all manual work for you. So it will collect all subdomains, it will crawl URLs, it will filter URLs, it will test input reflection on URLs, it will again test on filtering, and then it will use Arion to detect hidden endpoints of URLs. Then again, it will filter them, and it will again test for reflection, and the final file will be ready for XSS to test.
You see, this is what I mean. Your tool is actually making a lot of hunters out there to be lazy.
Yeah, I see this guy. Yeah, he used blind XSS and he made
800 errors.
Yeah,
that's nice.
This is our feature for blind XSS. Another.
So to our audience watching this, you can see a lot of confirmation tweets out there. People are making a lot of money using this wonderful tool, XSR. Ibrahim has already done the heavy lifting for each and every one of you out there. All you have to do is subscribe to this tool to make more money in the bug bounty world.
And I would like also to say that each month we offer 5 days free license. As you can see, when you refresh our page, there will be a pop-up. And it's saying from the 10/15 each month, we provide 5-day free license for the professional plan, allowing users to explore the tool before committing a purchase.
So Ibrahim, give us the real hands-on workings of how this beautiful tool works, so our audience out there can be able to, get convinced and start subscribing to your tool.
Okay, let's start. So when we start the XSS, it will give you API information about your email. It will give you when your license will expire. And currently, it's the V3 version of XSS. And I would like to announce that V4 XSS version will be within a month. So basically, every 45 days, we are releasing a new version of the XSS. And I would also like to say that our final version of XSS will be 7. And V7 version will be a desktop application for each OS.
Okay.
And when you scroll down to the XSS, you will see our banner. And here is some privacy policy you need to respect regarding the XSS. Let's scroll down. So these are some system commands of XSS. We have get request, post request, URLs, payloads, HTTP, HTTPS, threads, reinstall, and renew. So if you used older version of XSS V2, when you download and run XSS V3, you will need to call this function to reinstall V2 and install V3 version. Let's scroll down. here is all the flags of XSS. Basically, we have -- path. It will inject payloads on the end of the URLs instead of the query. We have the prefix and suffix, and we can, with this, craft our XSS payloads. Example, we can add some value before payload and some value after the payload. Multipart is testing also post request based on the multipart web request. Only alerts flags. This will only display you on the banner of the terminal, only alerts without URLs, payloads, and buff detection. Reflection flag is to check each URL, is there a reflection or not reflection. And you can start today scanning and using the save flag, and you can turn off your computer and stop the scanning. And tomorrow you just need to call this function, this flag, resume. It will continue
resume flag,
scanning.
right?
Yeah, the resume parameter. It will continue scanning from the yesterday. So basically, it's very handy. Initialize flag is to, when we call this flag, it will open a Google Chrome for us. And we are using initialize and cookies flag when we want to test authenticated web application. When there is a login on the web application and we need to log in and then to test. And when we want to start to testing on GET request on that application, we need to call the cookie flag. Basically, cookie will use those cookies which you logged from initialize. Spray flag is basically, it will spray blind XSS payloads on the website. It will find the inputs of the website. So basically, if you have domain example testphp.com and you want to find all input fields, fuzzer is to perform a fuzzing on input fields detection. So basically, it will check which characters are blocking on the website and which are passing. And it will collect and use only passing characters, and it will make a limit. Is a flag which we can limit the number of requests per 60 seconds. Sleep is also a limitation. It will wait time in milliseconds. Shuffle is for avoid and detection of web application firewalls, and it will mix URLs and payloads. Click me is the user interaction. Basically, we can make payloads where a user needs to click on that payload in order to get XSS. And basically, when using a click me feature, xssOR will click for you. You just need to send payloads, and if there is a click button, XSS will click on it and trigger pop-up. User agent, we can specify our custom user agent to be sent.
So these are all the arguments that the user is going to apply in order to get XSS vulnerability from a target.
Yeah. So basically, we can start.
From everything that comes with this tool, I can tell you've really put in a lot of work. I think you've taken your time to build this script in a way that is going to make a bug bounty hunter not only lazy, but rich if used in the correct way.
Yeah.
So this is a very nice tool. I like your explanation, and I like the hard work you've put to get these things done.
xssOR is a really handy tool. And if you have example, duplicate URLs in payloads, it also will only use unique from your list. It will filter all them. Also, it will test one by one parameter, so it will not skip any parameter in the testing. So
and this tool was written in Bash, right?
No, it's xssOR is written in C#. Yeah. So let's start with the GET request. First of all, we need to have our URLs txt and our payloads. For our URLs txt, we will use a web application which we have authorization to test. So every bug bounty hunter know about this site. This site is made for testing. So it's made for testing, and you have permission to test. So
exactly,
we will start on this site. So basically, let me show you. I already put one URL for testing, this one. And let me show you our payloads. Our payloads list, we have two of them, which are this example. So
this is the XSS payload.
Yeah, and we have another list of 4,000 payloads.
How many lines of payloads are in this particular file?
there is 4,000 payloads of XSS.
Just hold on a second. To our audience that are seeing this wonderful piece of code for the first time, these are payloads that are used to get or extract XSS vulnerability from a target machine or a target server. So these are well-crafted payloads using different formats to bypass the JavaScript input parameter in a web application. So continue.
Yeah, those payloads are on the store. When you purchase your xssOR tool, you will have all these payloads. As you can see, there is a payloads for Angular and JavaScript. So we will use now example 16 of them. Copy. We will put like testing.txt, and we will paste them.
You copied over 60 payloads from those ones, and then you have to create a new file for the testing ground.
Yeah, for this scenario. Then we will copy this command and paste it. And we need to change here number of the threads. So depending on your plan, you can use threads from 1 to 15, but right now I will use 1 to be slow process. And we here need to change our file testing.txt with 66 payloads. And that's it. We just need to run.
The file is currently executing.
Yeah, as you can see, there is URLs count 1, testing, and payload 66 of
It's
them.
already fetching us XSS box from the target machine.
Already found 1. As you can see, this green alert. Alongside that, we have here URL testing, payload which is testing, and here we have the status code of the web application, page title, and is there any WAF protection? As you can see, the web application has no WAF. So it's currently scanning the website, and as you can see above, we already have 6 of them, and it's on the 45% of scanning. So on the terminal above, you can see the process is 40 from the 66 payloads. So we already have the 8 triggered XSS, and there is estimate time remaining. As you can see, it's 7 seconds to finish.
So these two actually was able to run full-time automation on that particular target and was able to get the XSS vulnerabilities from that particular target.
Yeah. Automatically report will open in HTML. And as you can see, here is our report. We have here URLs tested, payloads is loaded, is 66. We have 12 vulnerabilities found, date creation. We have our social media, logo. As you can see, it's 12 of them. And here, this graph will show you how many payloads we have with alert, how many payloads we have with other, and how many payloads we have with the prompt. As you can see, 1 payload is triggered with the prompt, 10 of the alert, and 1 is unique.
So these two, not only was it able to extract the XSS vulnerability for the user, but it was able to craft a detailed response, using the HTML5 format for the user to understand the severity and also the particular payload that was used to get that particular bug.
Yeah, exactly.
So what you did now is you exploited these targets using the get response.
Yeah. Let me show you what we have here. We have export, detail finding export in PDF. We can export this for the proof of concept. If we are running some penetration testing company, it is very handy to have this kind of report. Then we have the export in CSV format and export in JSON format. It's really nice. You have URL, screenshot, payload, and date of creation. You have here to display how many entries we have. Also, we have screenshot, where is the trigger. We have vulnerable URL and payload. And when we click on vulnerable URL, we will get a pop-up here.
Not only are you collating the data, you are also getting us a screenshot of that particular XSS vulnerability pop-up from the vulnerable web application.
Exactly. So when we open this, see, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same. And the payload, which is triggered. So this is the detailed report.
You've done well to ease the pain of a lot of hunters in the community.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, let's let's go with another feature. When you run again xssOR, there is a path request. Yeah,
Okay.
currently, basically, but I can show you how it's done. So we need also to copy the command, and we need to change our payloads to the testing, and we will use threads 1. Let's wait. Okay, there is no reflection. Let me use without reflection because there is no reflection on that particular parameter. Okay, here it is. Now I will stop the tool just to show you how it's going with the path. So as you can see here, it's going our domain list products.php, and after that it injected our payload. So after the slash of each slash in the web URL, it will inject our XSS payload.
That is actually after the part of that list products.php.
Yes, exactly.
That tool is actually injecting these malicious payloads, and in return, you're getting a path XSS.
And one more thing regarding path, it will not only inject after the path.
Okay.
It will also inject on the extensions. So as you can see, our domain is called the listproducts.php. See?
Yeah.
And as you can see on the first URL, it injected our payload instead list products in PHP extension. So it's also testing extensions.
In your thread parameter, what about if you use 2?
If you use 2 threads, it will only faster scan. So it will be more quickie. So it will scan, example, if you have 100 URLs and if you use thread 1, it will be like 40 seconds. But if you use thread 2, it will be 30 seconds. So basically, it's for the speed. So let's move to the next one. Is the normal post request.
Okay.
As I told you, we have normal, JSON, and multipart. We will not test each one of them because it's only we need to call multipart, JSON, or normal without anything. We will test normal post request right now. And I have here example, this guestbook. And already, so what you need to do here is you need to turn on your verb suite and save this request.
Yeah.
It looks like this. When you save it, see it's guestbook.php. So you need to save request.
That's automatically the request header.
Yeah. And as you can see, here we will test our XSS. And basically, we need to use marks, brackets, and to add the payload mark on that place. And when we add the payload mark for the post request, it will test only XSS on that field. So we need to specify field for the post request. As you can see, I already added here payload. So on this specific mark, it will be sent our payloads. So if we use this command and copy it, we need to change threads to 1. We will change to payloads to our testing because we are using testing right now. And we need to change our request.txt. Our request.txt is guestbook.txt. So let's change it. And one more thing, if you are testing a HTTP site, if there is no SSL, we need to call this flag, HTTP.
HTTP, okay.
Yeah. So let's start. Already found 1, 2, 3. See how it's going fast. Only with 1 thread. So if we use 15 threads, it will scan in blink of eye. But we will not use now 15 threads because
using higher thread is going to send a signal to the server.
Yeah.
And you will be detected.
Yeah, and also currently I'm using on virtual machine and I didn't put too much RAM memory and CPU, so maybe it will froze. But yeah, it's safe to use 1 thread right now.
Yeah.
And as you can see, scan took 50 cents.
So is this a reflected XSS bug or a stored XSS?
If this application stores our payload on the application, it will be stored. Yeah, right now, this is the reflected for the post request. Okay. So basically, stored XSS is where we store our payload. Our payload is always there. That is the reason why it's called the stored. And when the payload is not stored, only reflected, it's called reflected. So this is reflected for the post request. Yeah.
Yeah, but reflected is not financially rewarding in the bug bounty community.
Yeah, exactly. But some bug bounty platforms even pay, example, $100, 200. Yeah, some of them are paying. It's depending of the bug bounty platform. But yeah, there is no high impact. And as you can see, we also get here screenshots. And if we visit this URL and if we paste our payload, we will see it's unique, 0 false positive. Each payload must trigger. Yeah, no false positive. All payloads are triggered.
So in building your tool, you've taken your time to eliminate any false positive.
Yeah.
This is nice. So how long did it take you to put together this tool?
For the V1 version, I developed that within 2 months. 2 months for the V1 version, but each day I spent over the 5 hours of work.
Wow, 2 months. You took your time in crafting, walking through every thought process to, create this wonderful tool. Since the creation of this tool, how financially rewarding has it been to you?
For me, the most satisfaction is when I see our bug bounty hunters happy and when they share their feedback on social media and when they tag me, and I'm really happy for that. That's the main purpose. But of course, I have some financially reward regarding those. As many bug bounty hunters ask me, we want to share a bug bounty with you. Can you help me to find XSS here? And yeah, I gave them license and we use together XSS and we share bounties together. So that's
very nice in terms of collaboration and partnership.
Okay, let me then show you one more feature from the xssOR, and we will show you one more feature from the blind xssOR. Is that okay? Okay, I want to show you this one, user interaction payload injection. So we need to use this one, but first of that, let me get the payloads. As you can see, payloads having click me button, click me button, click me button, and there is a lot of them. So let me show you how it is work. So if we use this one and we will call one, we need to post our domain. We will use this one in URLs, paste it, then we will call our feature. Okay, user interaction payload injection, threads 1, and let's test it. I will stop after few of them if we found. So we will skip, not test each of the payloads. See, it's trying to find the keys element forms on this particular website, on this URL.
The target.
Yeah, as you can see, it found one click me element found, but there is no XSS
No XSS triggered.
Yeah, so basically it's triggering for you user interaction payload. See, it's attempting to click, and when it clicks, if there is a XSS pop-up, it will tell us. Also, these payloads are very handy for bypassing web application firewall. I tested one application with K payloads on the GET request, and I didn't succeed. Then I switched to click me, this feature of the XSS for user interaction, and it triggered XSS. It bypassed WAF and triggered XSS. So it's really, 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 really handy. And we have another one.
Yeah, we've gotten one XSS trigger.
Now,
so not only does your tool helps bug bounty hunter to get bugs, but it comes with, a lot of payloads that can bypass different firewalls.
Yeah, as you can see, here is a payload which is telling press Alt plus Shift plus X to continue. Basically, xssOR used your keyboard, it clicked on that and triggered payload instead of you. So it's every process automated. Let me stop this request. Let me show you now. It will automatically open the report. When you stop the process, automatically it will open the report.
So everything works in real time from the terminal to the web application. Your XSS tool works in real time.
Yeah. So if we use example this payload, let's see first the screenshot. See what it's saying. Press Alt plus Shift plus X. If we press this, add message. Wait, it's the issue on the web server. Let me test again. Okay, so it's saying press Alt plus Shift plus X to continue. When I press that, it triggered XSS. Another feature is click me. If I use this, and if I paste that, if I click on it, I will get XSS.
Stored SSS is really dangerous.
Yes. So this is very, very handy. As I told you, I already found on one website and I bypassed it WAF with this. So it's really handy. An example, if there is some user forum, and like a normal member, if you paste this payload on that forum, everybody who visit that, you can affect him. So it's really handy. Okay, so let me go for the blind. When you purchase your xssOR, you will have txt file name blind like this, blind.txt. And it will say you how to access blind XSS payloads. So please visit the xssor.com blind XSS site and register your account. Navigate to the payload section, and you need here to copy your blind payloads in this txt. So basically, we need to go here to register here. And when we go to the section payloads, we will have here payloads. And we have here button copy all payloads, and we will need to copy them in our blind txt in order to use crawling and spraying, because this crawling plus spraying is only for the blind XSS. As you can see, crawling and spraying only works currently on the blind. In the next version, we will put for the others normal XSS. So let me show you how this is gonna work. If we use example this one payload, and if we go here and we paste it, before I click the add message, you need to connect your Telegram bot or email account
to
your account. So basically, to get notification on your Telegram or email. So let's use the first payload, paste it, add message. See, we got something here. Now we wait the Telegram notification to pop up. See,
and that is it.
We got Telegram notification. If we go here again, click on the reports, it will say one URL is triggered just now, and we have here actions to delete and more info. When we click on more info, here we have our blind XSS report hub. We have here screenshot. We have the generate bug bounty template. If we click this, it will automatically generate bug bounty template with the name, title, severity, description. What you need to do here is only to replace your payload which you used and the URL which is affected. Everything else is already fulfilled for you. See, this is very, very handy. Then what we have here, we have location where it's triggered. We have the page title, user agent, local data, session data, device info. As you can see, my screen resolution, browser type, GPU support, model, CPU cores, architecture. So everything, browser info. We have here a lot of the information. Then we have here network info, address, private IP address of me country. I'm currently using VPN. It's collected a lot of the information, plugins, HTTP headers, MIME types, API keys. If there is some API keys, it will collect for you API keys. Then input fields, as you can see, submit, text field, search for, submit, all the links collected from the website. As you can see, these are links from the website, and the page HTML DOM based. So if you search here, see, we can find that our xssOR is being triggered here, and our username of the payload. So a lot of the handy. Also, there is even payloads for account takeovers. This is very, very handy. So basically, if we have some forum or something like that, and if we copy this payload, and we can imagine that this is some post comment on the forum, and if we paste this will be on the forum with users, and if somebody click on it, he will not know what happened, but we will know, because we will get notification that somebody clicked on that, and when we visit dashboard and report, we will get who triggered. Even we get his screenshot of the PC and stuff like that.
This has been a very insightful, educative, and informative section with Ibrahim, the founder of XSR tool that is primarily aimed at helping bug bounty hunters to get XSS bug. Before we round up, I would like to ask you, Ibrahim, on your final thoughts. If someone out there that is amazed by this podcast section and is looking to transition into ethical hacking, bug bounty, and then offensive tool development, what would you tell that person to start doing from this very moment?
So first of all, I will tell them to start learning some theoretical knowledge about XSS. If they are looking only for XSS, they will need to learn what is difference between reflected, DOM-based, path-based, blind XSS, where to hunt. They will need to go to HackerOne and read some bug bounty reports. That will be a good starting point. And if they want to use xssOR, they will need to, of course, know some Linux basics, how to run an application in Linux, how to give the permission, how to install Google Chrome and stuff like that. And they will need to know some basics like that. If there is some reflection on the website, there is potential that it will be happen with XSS. And if the web application is filtering a single quota or double quota, that you need to craft the payload. And regarding to craft the payloads, you will always have the payloads from the xssOR. So these payloads are collected over the whole social media regarding the XSS, from the Google, from the GitHub, from the bug bounty reports, from the HackerOne. Also, a lot of the payloads are already published by some private bug bounty platforms. Also, I made some private payloads, which I found on the bug bounty platforms, which bypassed the web application firewall. So basically, you will need to know everything about the payloads, how the XSS is triggering, where is the API sending request, is there any potential input forms, where to look to find XSS. As you can see on my site, xssor.com, there is a section where to hunt XSS. So there's a lot of the knowledge regarding XSS, but it can be mastered within a month or two to be master of XSS if you try your best and if you put effort every day on that.
So you can all hear him. He said within 2 to 3 months of hard work, dedication, perseverance, you can become good at hunting XSS bugs. You see, on this section, Ibrahim was able to use his tool, the XSR, to show us how we can get reflected XSS vulnerability, stored XSS vulnerability, which is the cache point of every XSS bug out there, and also blind XSS, which is also another money-making bug, but is very rare. With these two, I think you can find this bug easily. So for all bug bounty hunters out there, make sure you subscribe to Ibrahim XSR to use our CloudTech Hills promo code for good percentage / on all plans. Use these two to get that XSS bug. I thank you, Ibrahim, for being our wonderful guest tonight, for exposing us to the beauty of your tool and teaching us how to use it. And to our wonderful subscribers out there, continue to like, share this video to your followers, to your friends, to your family, so that they can subscribe and learn how to stay updated on our cyberspace. Thank you, Ibrahim, and see you again next time.
Thank you for inviting me and see you again. Bye.